I'm Liz Swift and I'm the current chair of Burwell Parish Council. We are a fairly large parish council with 17 councillors, and we are a large village. We are responsible for looking after many assets within this thriving community. We are very much a community-based parish council with in the heart of our community. We have this building here, which is the Jubilee Reading Room, which is our parish office. We have 2 village halls, the Gardner Memorial Hall, which is way over 100 years old, and we have a fairly new hall, which is Mandeville Hall. We have 4 children's play areas, and we have a nature reserve, Pauline Swamp. We've got the Spring Close site, and we've got a community orchard, and we've got the recreation ground, which incorporates one of our play areas, but we've recently had that refurbished to a very high standard, and it's a really good community asset. Everything we do for the village, we do with our parishioners, our residents in mind, so that we hope to benefit them. As a chair, I think one of the main achievements I think that we've managed to achieve in the last 4 years is that we had a strategy day in 2016, which was actually facilitated by ACRE, where we reorganised our way of working. So we now have 4 really well run and organised working groups, which then feed into our main council, and we find that it works very well and it enables us to actually do far more for the village. And that's what we're here for. We are here for the residents of Burwell.
Hello, my name's Hazel Williams and I'm Chair of Finance at Burwell Parish Council. A word about our war memorial, which is a bit unusual. It is attached to a cottage which was built at the same time as the war memorial with the funds from the village, because pre-NHS days they used it for the local nurse to have somewhere to live. It's managed by a charitable trust, although the parish council are of course responsible for making sure it's tidy for Remembrance Day and for the parade, etc. But it's a very interesting place. Four years ago, East Cambridge District Council decided to close a lot of its public toilets as a cost-saving measure. They did give our village, who had a public toilet, a year's maintenance costs, which they would have spent on it, but then the toilets were closed. We went out to consultation with our community, and they decided that actually it was important we maintained a public toilet. And so it has taken us 4 years through all the legal proceedings and the negotiations, etc., and the building work to put in place a totally accessible toilet for people to use. We're now able to use part of the building for storage too. As well as being a member of the Parish Council, I also chair Burwell and District Day Centre. This is a charitable trust which is open 5 days a week and is very valued in the community. We have our own building, and the group of trustees are made up partly of parish councillors and partly of other community members. We provide meals every day and a day of activity for older people, and we also take out hot Meals on Wheels to those people who need to have it. During the virus situation, we've been able to supply hot meals to lots of older people in the village who would have found it very difficult otherwise. We're 30 years old this year, and so we must be doing something right. We're about to start a new project based at the Day Centre, which will help older people in their own homes. They will have a phone call every day during the week and will be able to let us know if they're okay or if they need help with small things, things such as reading letters or helping them get a little bit of shopping if they're desperate. It's aimed to be there in the same way as maybe your family used to be there in the past, but are nowadays maybe living too far away to be on the spot all the time. That was due to start earlier this year, but I think that was not possible, so it's going to start as soon as we've got over the worst of the COVID crisis.
I'm Robin Dias. I'm the Vice Chair of the Burwell Parish Council. We're in the Burwell Gardner Hall. The Gardner Hall is 100 years old. It's been used extensively in the past as part of the village assets. Now it's beginning to get very tired. It's had little work done to it since the 1960s when toilets were installed and there was a balcony which was taken down. At the moment, our hope is to bring it up to the 21st century and to make it fit for purpose and to extend its life for the next 40, 50 years.
Hello, my name's Yvonne Ricks. I'm Clerk of Burwell Parish Council. We're currently in our allotment. We have around about 80 or 90 allotment plots here, and we have all of our allotment holders come from Burwell. We currently have around about 10 on the waiting list. We did manage to actually clear the waiting list a while ago, just before COVID, but since COVID things have obviously, more people want to come out and work in the fresh air, and we have had an increased demand in those wanting the allotment plots. We're now at Burwell Cemetery and standing in the entrance to our cemetery chapel, which can be used for small services if people require in the village. When I took over as clerk to the parish council, the record system for the cemetery was very antiquated. We have recently produced and set up a new system which includes all the information and data, making everything so much easier for us to find that information and to manage the cemetery on behalf of the village.
Hi, I'm Mike Swift. I'm a Burwell Parish Councillor and I'm also Chair of this nature reserve where we are now. The nature reserve really works under the auspices of the Parish Council. There are 6 parish councillors and also we've brought in expertise. 6 years ago, the whole of this site was virtually not known to many of the people in Burwell, and we decided at that time to turn it into a real nature reserve. And since then, with the help of the Kingfisher Nature Reserve at Wickham, we were luckily given the warden there, who's now a trustee as well, and we set about turning it into a site that could be used not just for visitors but for the whole community of Burwell. We've spent a lot of time changing the philosophy of the place. We no longer let sheep run here. On the advice of Wickham Fen, it is now left to have an annual hay cut, which again promotes the wildflowers. It's divided into 3 parts basically. You've got the woodland around the outside, you've got the swamp area and the stream running through the middle, and at the far end we have a pond which is full of lots of wildlife, tadpoles, you name it. Kids come and dip their nets in there.
My name is Paul Webb. I'm one of the parish councillors in Burwell. and I was also part of the project team which helped develop the new facilities on the recreation ground. Behind me you can see that we've had Football Association funding. We had a program to improve our recreation ground. Starting some 5 years ago, we started spending on pitch improvement, and over 3 years we spent nearly £50,000 on improving the pitch for the footballers. Following on from that, it was decided that we needed to refurbish and extend our pavilion, and we got a grant of over 70%, nearly £232,000 from the Football Association. The overall recreation ground project, which was divided into 4 phases, the pavilion being the first one, cost in excess of £675,000 in total, and we managed to raise over £606,000 through grant and community funding efforts. The footballers are raising £5,000 themselves to go towards the project, and the skateboarders for the skate park, the new concrete skate park, raised over £6,000 in addition to that. So altogether we raised over £606,000 for a project costing £675,000 in 4 phases. As you'll see, the second phase was the skate park, the third phase was double tennis courts, up to county standard with lighting as well, and finally but not least was the recreation sports facilities, including new outdoor gym equipment, a zip wire, and soon to be installed an outside table tennis table. Altogether, the project has taken over 18 months and will shortly be finished just before the end of this year.
Part of the general refurbishment of the recreation ground, it was decided that also new play equipment was desperately needed, because all we really had before were a couple of swings that weren't particularly in good condition. So as you can see, we now have some lovely play equipment. We have some for the younger children and for the older children. We've got the zip wire. I mean, everything is just perfect, and we've had lots and lots of compliments, and during the summer it was extremely well used. And you know, we are just so very pleased with the whole effect. This recreation ground is now used by all ages, by the whole of the residents of Burwell to their benefit, and we're so very pleased with the result.